Super Mario Bros. Is a tough game to review. The title almost single-handedly resurrected a dying industry and helped propel video games into the mega business they are today. While I can't be certain, I'm fairly confident Super Mario Bros. Was the very first video game I've ever played in my life, nearly 27 years ago. With all of the history and nostalgia behind it, the game is hard to review, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. Super Mario Bros. Was a launch title for the Nintendo Entertainment System back in 1985. Today, I'm going to be looking at the enhanced port released in 1993 for the Super Nintendo as part of the Super Mario All-Stars game pack. The premise of the game is simple. You take control of Mario and progress through 8 different worlds on your quest to take down Bowser and rescue the princess. Hardcore fans of the series note the controls were slightly tweaked for the Super Nintendo release, and I'm inclined to believe them. Myself, I don't notice much difference to the classic experience on the original Nintendo. Your mileage may vary. The jumping feels a touch stiff, and there is a slight learning curve here. Gamers in the 80s probably remember their parents waving the controller around wildly while they jumped, hoping it would aid Mario in getting over a pit, which is probably a sign of the stiff jumping. However, it is incredibly precise. First, holding down the B button will make Mario run. This additional speed lets him carry more momentum when he jumps, allowing him to reach platforms that are farther away. Second, Super Mario Bros. Does an excellent job allowing mid-air adjustments, making landing on small platforms incredibly easy. The momentum and jumping feels just as great today as it did back then, and is something most modern games, even some of the very best, can't quite match. The limitations and preciseness of Mario's jumping is matched perfectly with the level design. Certain jumps require you to have a firm grasp on Mario's momentum, and a failure to understand the limits will result in a lot of deaths. Still, once mastered, there is a nice sense of satisfaction as you venture into the later levels of the game. In addition to simply speeding through levels, Super Mario Bros. Rewards gamers who take things a bit slower and explore the different nooks and crannies of the worlds. There are plenty of hidden power-ups, extra lives, and bonus areas, which encourage repeat playthroughs. All of these little additions has helped Super Mario Bros. Withstand the test of time and cement its place in history as a pioneer. What's so remarkable about Super Mario Bros. Is how polished the entire experience is. There are so few things in here to even complain about. The only things I don't like are the water sections. The swimming is okay, but you really just want to get through it as quickly as possible and get back to the platforming. I also find the Hammer Brothers to be really cheap. Their hammers are tough to avoid, and at times their placement can be problematic. The difficulty in Super Mario Bros. Ramps up nicely as the stages progress, throwing new challenges at you, while at the same time reinforcing old ones. The balance between fun and challenge is pretty much perfect. Until you reach World 8. Here, the game takes a significant leap in difficulty and still gives me fits. Nearly every enemy is here, and the platforming is brutal. Taking the game as a whole, playing through Super Mario Bros. From start to finish is still a ton of fun, no matter how many times you do it. Super Mario Bros. Has a playability to it that is truly timeless. Moving on to the All-Stars aspects of this release, the graphics and sound have received a complete overhaul, bringing the adventure firmly into the 16-bit generation. Not only that, many of the original shortcomings are fixed here. The variety of the backgrounds is vastly improved. Not only that, there is some parallax scrolling to help give the worlds a bit of depth. Even better is the soundtrack. The masterful compositions of the original game are intact, but there is so much more depth in this All-Stars version. Each track feels more full with the perfect instrument samples used to retain the Mario feel. Coin Heaven and the boss battles also had new music, which again adds to the variety. I'm not ready to dismiss the NES graphics or music as they are iconic, but the presentation here in the Super Nintendo version is pretty damn awesome. At the end of the day, not only was Super Mario Bros. A groundbreaking title in 1985, it was a blast to replay in 1993. Looking at it today, I can honestly say it stacks up favorable against nearly every platformer I've played to date. Super Mario Bros. Is a masterpiece. 5 out of 5.